All right, good morning. Thank you for attending our town hall meeting. We use this opportunity to share church business updates. So it's February 18th, 2024, and we have a variety of different speakers today, so we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but hopefully you'll learn a lot of new information. So on just a couple of housekeeping things. We do record it, so it'll be recorded on on YouTube, and then it will be put on our YouTube channel later this week, and then sent out. So if there's individuals who are watching online, thank you for watching this town hall meeting. And we are running a little late, so if we have a question and answer session that goes a little long, we'll be in the lobby. So we'll just move to the lobby afterwards. Beginning January 1st, we implement our leadership changes. We have some people that roll off, and then the individuals that are added are up on the screen. We have Joe Rega and Jan Pittard, who are both being added to respective leadership teams as representatives of the gathering place. So we have a person on the guide team, and then SPRC. Pete Jasanis is taking over as our treasurer, and the guide team, Tim Smith on the guide team, and then Dia Wilkins on SPRC, and Marshall will share some of that information on his video at the end. I wanted to report on our building team meetings, and the update that I'm giving is basically on the information that we got from the meetings. We had 5 informational gatherings. We had 70 total attendees at those meetings. And here's some of the frequent questions and comments that we had received. The timeline, I'll go over the timeline in the next slide. Music and youth rooms, both of which are being addressed. And then the chairs. So just so everyone's aware, there is a plan to remove the pews on the ground floor of the sanctuary and replace them with chairs. There are a lot of questions what those chairs look like, how comfortable they are, things of that nature, which we will get to. For our communications going forward, how are we going to communicate this information? How often are we going to communicate it? Here's our plan. So if you could back up 2 slides, please. It was actually under the building team update. There we go. So if you attended the informational gatherings, we had a frequently asked question sheet, and I developed that by guessing what the frequently asked questions would be. But now we know what the frequently asked questions are. So we're going to come up with another one and answer the questions that were frequently asked in a document, and that'll be posted on our website. And if you go to that page on our website, it's regularly updated. So we are constantly putting new information on there. I'd encourage you to look at that, and you can ask questions through the website. You can check out the rendering. That's all there. It's being regularly published. And then quarterly, we're going to put out video updates. So holding a gathering, trying to get everyone together to be here at the exact same time is not very efficient. It's very efficient for us to put out a 10 to 15-minute video on the update of the construction and then make sure everybody has the ability to view that. So that doesn't mean we're not having meetings. It just means that we're going to have some videos going forward for our regular updates. And then updates to our timeline graphic. So if we could go to that next. Okay, so one of the popular questions was, what's the timeline? When is this going to be done? And if you actually look at this timeline graphic, there's still not a date on there. And we recognize that, and also recognize that we're not very good at answering this question. So I put together a graphic that hopefully everyone can, over time, start to understand how many different elements of this process there are and understand how challenging the answer to that question is. So I know it's small, but we'll be putting it out there more often. And even if you check it on our YouTube later this week, you'll be able to more easily read the graphic. So I know it's kind of small right now. But we broke it up into 4 categories where you have municipality or government approvals and permits, architectural and construction design, First United and UMC approvals, because we do have approvals through the United Methodist Conference, and then financing. How are we going to pay for it? So green indicates where we are, and red indicates either a step that we have passed or one that we're going towards to achieve that ultimate goal of the construction project. So we'll share more and more of that, and hopefully it'll spur some questions. But we wanted to try to put together how intricate the process is and how difficult it is for us to answer that question. But hopefully you can see where there is a step-by-step process. So that's it for me, but I'm going to invite Jason Girallo up. He's our Director of Communications and Branding, and he's going to share some information on a mobile app that we've created, or he's created actually. And one thing, before I ask Jason to speak, I want to talk about Jason for a minute. Jason has been our communications director for 2.5 years, and I think that you'd all agree that our style of communication, our photographs, our videos are excellent, like on another level. And understanding how challenging that is. I mean, just today in the worship gathering, there were 2 videos, and every week there's videos and videos, and they're quality. And I want to take the opportunity to thank him for that, and also understand how much he does and how important it is to First United. So I'm giving him the opportunity to talk about the app, which he came to me about 8 months ago and said, I think we really should create an app. I think it would be really beneficial to our congregation. And I said, okay, well, we have looked at that in the past, and it's tens of thousands of dollars to have someone create an app. Jason said, well, I'll create the app. So, I mean, that's the level that Jason's at. I really hope you'll take the opportunity to listen to him, but also download that app, because if you do have apps on your phone that you really like to use, I'm hopeful that this will be one that will help you engage with First United.
Thank you, Brett. All right, so first off, raise of hands. How many have downloaded the app already? Okay. So for you, this isn't super new. The app has been out in the wild on the app stores for about 4 months as we beta tested and made sure it was actually functioning the way it was supposed to. But if you want to download the app, there's a QR code. So if you go ahead and scan that QR code, it's going to take you to a website, and the webpage is going to give you an option to click for Android or to click for iOS. Now, if you're a follower of Scott's, you know that the Apple version is better. No, they're exactly the same. They do give you additional functionality if you go ahead and switch over to the next slide. So the nice thing that we were able to do with this app is create a single app that serves both First United and the Gathering Place. So the first screen you come to kind of gives you a split point, right? So if you look at the screen there, the very first tile is First United, second one is the Gathering Place. And then there are a few tiles below that are kind of universal. So we both use the same giving platform. We are going to have video daily devotionals starting very soon. There's a Bible on there, so you don't actually have to carry a Bible anymore. You just click that button, a couple of different translations available, and then some notification, things like that. But if you wanted to look at First United, click that first button. It's going to take you to sort of the inside of the First United app portion of the display. So I made it as easy to navigate as possible. Everything is big, colorful, easy to read. There's not a lot of depth into menus. So go ahead and give me the next slide. And this is kind of just a window into what the app looks like. So you'll see there's some videos. Both of the videos that I produce that either show here on Sunday mornings or show on our social media are going to be on there, as well as every single live stream, both the 9 and 11 will be there, as well as the Gathering Place is 10 a.m. So if you're interested in that, click on Gathering Place and it'll show you those. Every sermon that Scott produces in text form, I've heard quite a bit of feedback that people really would like to be able to have a copy of what he writes so that you can read along or read along later in the week. So that's there for both First United and the Gathering Place, so you can see what Amy's writing as well. The connection card, we ask you to do this every week. So here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have all your information in the app, and that means that in the mornings, whether you come to 9 or 11, you'll get a notification on your phone that pops up and says, sign the Connect form. Now, you can opt out of that if you choose not to get it, but I think it's a great way because then you don't have to think about hearing them talk about it on stage. It just comes to your phone and you click the button, fill out the Connect form. And then lastly is just a picture of the Bible. Super easy to read. You can make the text big, small, read it horizontally, vertically. So I think it's going to bring an awful lot of functionality to First United for people that are getting to know us, but also for everybody here who's a member and loves the place as much as we do. So With that, I'm happy to answer any questions after we're done, but I'll give it back to Brett. Oh.
Good morning. I'm Pete Jasanis. I'm the new treasurer. So let's see, get the slide up here. Okay. Couple things, positive things. Our revenues over expenses for last year, we exceeded our expenses by $143,000 plus, which was really good. Couple of good things about that. The staff worked real hard to keep the expenses down. You'll see in the next slide, our giving was slightly up, but we have to pay attention to that this coming year, and we'll get to that in the next slide. Another good thing is our mission given was $300,000 last year. Interesting thing about that I'll tell you is that it probably doesn't include the hum food. It doesn't include the shoe boxes. It doesn't include the presents we picked up for Christmas for Beachside or the shut-ins. Doesn't include the New Start parade stuff and all the stuff we gave in the parades. But it also doesn't include your most precious gift, your time. You spent a lot of time out there gathering all these things, and there's no better way to pick up your cross than spend your time. We thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. See if I can read mine. So if you can see, our revenue was about $1.3 million last year. Our expenses were like $1.18 million. So we did have a good positive condition, which is good. And you can see that our giving was up from the previous year, but not by a lot. There was a one-time $100,000 gift, and that made a big difference. So we need to pay attention to it this year. Without that $100,000, we would not have met or exceeded our revenue for last year. Last thing on the chart is our budget for this year is about the same as it was last year, just a small increase. So that's something we have to pay attention to as we move along this coming year. Any questions? You can see me outside afterward. Mark?
A lot of good stuff going on in the church. Finances are awesome. So we keep that going this year, be really good. So I just want to talk briefly about something that's very important with the church right now is what we call a determination of relationship. A lot of you folks probably think, gosh, we've had this relationship with the Gathering Place for 2.5, 3 years now. Don't we have something in place formally? We really don't. It's kind of informal in nature. So there's something we call a DTR, Determination of Relationship Document. It's an agreement or a relationship development with the Gathering Place. And it's important because, as Scott has mentioned many times before, really that relationship right now, we're operating as a mother-daughter relationship, parent-toddler, and the toddler's growing up very quickly. The Gathering Place is growing quickly, doing great things out there. So we need to formalize that relationship. So the DTR is going to identify how First United will support the Gathering Place now and in the future. And those details include staffing, finances, ministry goals, visions, missions, especially the property out west. When we began to start to have discussions with some of the consulting firms that assist with how we create financing for the development out there and the property you have left, one of the things they said is that we have to have a formalized agreement, a formalized relationship with the Gathering Place. So that's kind of accelerated that process to have that relationship and that agreement in place. So going forward, the process for finalizing the DTR is the guide team and the Gathering Place vision team will work on a draft. We're actually on draft number 2 right now, and I see many to follow probably in the future. The guide team will then approve the DTR, and the DTR will be shared with the congregation. So when that DTR is completed, we will communicate that with the congregation. There'll be that DTR will be regularly reviewed and modified as necessary. I do want to point out one thing real quick, though. The DTR is very important with the property out west and what we do with that and what the Gathering Place does with that property for their growth out west. But that's not the only purpose of the DTR. The DTR is to help formalize how we support the Gathering Place going forward. So, and that's going to continue the future growth of our church's mission in that relationship. Any questions related to that? You'll see a lot more in the future. Once we get the DTR completed, like I say, we will communicate that with the full congregation. Thank you. Who's next? Marshall? Video. Thank you.
Good morning, First United. I am Marshall Snyder, chairperson of the Staff Parish Relations Committee, or sometimes referred to, or many times referred to as the SPRC. I have just a couple of subjects to cover with you today. First, the SPRC has 7 members serving our church in a variety of ways. The members are Jordan Gelati, Greg Kipp, Carol Peak, Carrie Thomas, and we have 2 new members who are Jan Pittard, who is joining us as a representative for the Gathering Place and will be providing us with greater insight as to what is going on there. Plus, we will get the benefit of his considerable experience as a longtime member of First United. Also joining us as a new committee member is Dia Wilkins. Welcome, new members, and thanks to you for all the work we have done and are about to do. Next, I would like to brief you on an important staff organization change that we are making. Let me provide a little background before I tell you about the change. In light of the highly significant initiatives we are launching, namely planning a church west of here, and planning to construct and renovate the Halifax facility, plus continuing with all the church functions while these things are going on, we asked ourselves, are we organized for success? The answer was, no, we are not as well prepared as we should be to accomplish all the super exciting things that God has challenged First United to do. So, we set out about redefining and upgrading the operations leadership position to increase the responsibilities and authority of the person holding that job. We gave it the title of Chief Operating Officer, or COO. The guide team is in full agreement with the SPRC Chief Operating Officer recommendation. First United is extremely fortunate to have a person on staff who is very capable and is willing to fill this key position. With the unanimous support of the SPRC and guide team, Brett Robinson was offered and has accepted the COO position. Please give Brett your congratulations, your support, and include him in your prayers as we go forward to build on the firm foundation established by those who have served and participated before us. Thank you.
Hi, First United family. My name is Amy Armistead, pastor of the Gathering Place, and we have had quite the exciting Advent and Christmas season with 100 people on the dot in attendance between 2 Christmas Eve services. And we are planning to offer 2 Easter services to accommodate our larger crowd, one at 8:30 in the morning and one at 10:30 a.m. We'll also be joining First United for the sunrise service at 6:30. We've experienced a bit of growth over the last few months, 25% increase in both attendance and giving in 2023 compared to 2022, which meant I had to keep my promise and get a pie in the face for reaching our goal. Last fall, we signed a contract with Creation Incubator, a consulting agency that is helping us develop plans for the future of our Williamson property. They made a site visit in October and have made some great progress in helping us envision what will happen on our acreage in the future, and we promise to keep you updated as plans unfold. Both our kids ministry team and our worship team are growing, but the more kids means we need more help. We're still searching for a child care worker to fill our nursery position to care for little ones 3 years old and under. If you know of someone interested in this type of position, send them our way. We're so grateful for the ways that God has provided everything we needed. All the challenges I listed are good things. Without the generosity and support of the First United family, these milestones would not have been possible. So please come and check us out one Sunday at 10 a.m. inside the Foundry, in person or online. We're so grateful. Bye, family.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, this tastes good. Ready? Oh, good job, Paxton. Ready, Cora?
Warning,
All right.
a bit aggressive.
Nice and gentle, Cora. Good job. Flynn, your turn. About that one. Lydia? Oh, she got 360 right there. Oh, she's so sweet.
I'm Scott. I'm the pastor, if you don't know. Any questions, thoughts, comments? One thing, as Marshall pointed out, to speak about Brett, we are thrilled that he's the chief operating officer. And just so you know, one of the things, and Frank's here, so those two staff members I'm going to pick on right now. Brett goes to all these meetings that honestly, if I had to go to them, I would move. Because it's just not my skill or ability to go to these. He went to an SPRC meeting, which I thought was meeting to talk about church staff. No, it has some acronym for the county or city for planning and zoning and development. Brett handles all the business and all that kind of stuff. And so when you like my sermons, you need to realize my sermons are better because Brett's here to do that work, that I don't have to, because we couldn't move forward in some of our projects and things if we didn't have somebody of his capability to do that and to lead that, where I don't have to worry about it. He and I meet regularly, so he can tell me what I need to know and say, hey, you might want to say this or do this, but you need to understand what a gift he is to our church in that way. And with Frank, we love having Frank as our congregational care pastor, because he visits people in the hospital on a regular basis. And you say, and I visit them when Frank and I have a conversation. He's like, hey, you need to go see so-and-so, or you should do this, etc. But Frank being able to make sure everybody gets seen and cared for on a regular basis gives me the time to sit down and write Bible studies, do daily devotionals, and those kind of things. That's why the importance of those staff members. So we're really grateful for them. And the other ones aren't bad either. So any other questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions? Things? Hey, listen, things are going really good right now, so just keep praying for that to happen. We're excited about that. There's going to be some interesting stuff this year. Some things to be aware of. One, the building. We've talked about the building. We'll be moving forward on that. There'll be lots of stuff on that. Y'all are the people that pay attention to things. So here's what I need from you. There are people in this church that don't read their email. There are people in this church that watch the videos and pay no attention. There are people in this church that hear the pastor make an announcement. It goes in one ear and out the other ear. Your job is to talk to your friends saying, hey, are you going to the meeting? Your job is to say, hey, did you hear about this? Because you ought to come. So encourage your friends. Let them know. They may listen to you when they're not listening to us on that. Then I also want to let you know, just in case you're not aware, we're going to start front-loading you, that in April, the United Methodist Church will have their General Conference 2024. There'll be a lot of stuff in the papers about that. We're probably going to talk about, we'll have a town hall meeting before the group meets, so we can kind of front load you on that. Just letting you know, they're going to meet to start discussing all the things. We have no clue what's going to happen, except for this. Here's what I do know is going to happen. All the media is going to spin it in the way that gets you to read and gets you upset. That's the number one thing that's going to happen. So let's make sure we have conversations before that. All right? Anything else?
I just want to say thank you for doing those daily devotionals. I know it takes time, but it is a great way to start the morning.
Thank you. Let's pray. God, we are grateful for all that you are doing here at First United. It's good to be in a place where we can celebrate good things happening. And we put in a lot of time, energy, and effort. I'm grateful for the men and women who serve on leadership teams to guide us and direct us and lead us. I'm most grateful, Lord, your Spirit moves in the hearts of so many of the congregants that we can be the people you have called us to be and be the church you have called us to be. And don't ever let us get in the way of what you're trying to do. Amen. Hey, thanks for coming.